page. Hello, my loves.
Hello.
Happy anniversary to us. It's our 15-year anniversary. Dan is just going to start sharing. All right. Hello, both Facebook and Instagram. I am here with my sexy silver fox.
That's me.
Dan Haig, he's a certified financial planner and registered retirement specialist consultant. And you might just have to keep refreshing, babe.
Okay.
So wait until we're able to share some of this. Hi, please let us know where you're from as you're tuning in. Let us know. We are going to be talking about how to elevate your wealth with ease. But first, we'd like to share a little bit. If you're new to us and if we're new to you, we'd like to share a little bit about who we are. Together, we are Pleasure in the Bedroom and Bank. I have a feeling.
She made up that name. Fantastic.
Isn't it so good? So how we came up with that is that we just love talking about money. We have a fun, playful, loving relationship with money. We practice what we preach, and we want to be sharing with you because it's not hard to, I'm going to say it's not hard to build wealth. It's all about your mindset. It's all about how much you respect money and how much you move into this energetic frequency of deserving, because abundance is our birthright. And so if I'm triggering you saying this, good. If I'm waking you up and you're like, how? Right? Good. Because that's why we are here. Professionally, I am a visionary business coach and an Akashic Records reader and life and soul coach. We already mentioned that Dan is a certified financial planner, and I'm a former registered psychologist. My master's is in marriage and family therapy. So we both have worked with a lot of couples. We are married for today 15 years.
5, 10,
yes,
15.
and happy. And I feel like you will feel our energy, and you can see like this isn't a show that we're not, like faking it. Those people that know us truly know that we literally flow. Hi, Annie. We literally flow when we're with each other. And we are here to say, and show you what's possible for you. We want to be inspiring you to be into a next level version of yourselves.
Just yesterday, somebody came up to me and said, I love you and Roz together. You guys are so lovey-dovey. It gives me hope. And I was like, thank you. That's fantastic. That's encouraging, right?
Yeah. So. Mm-hmm. And at the highest level of a relationship is co-creation and contribution. And so this is one of the ways that we love to contribute, is to inspire you, is to give you new perspective, is to be, do, and have, right? We, I think that's so important. We talk about how important is it's no secret. We are a power couple because we continue doing the inner work. We have our amazing personal development coach, Rayanne Witchatz. Shout out to her. She's been our personal development coach for 5 years, I think. Years, yep. Yeah, 5 years, right? And we regularly coach.
We check in. We do the maintenance. We
regularly check in.
Yeah.
And I would say, what would you say, hon? I'm going to ask you, what attitude or what allowed you to be who you are today, and not only as a person, but as a husband?
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is confidence in who I am, in what I can speak to Roz about or anyone else about, and just feel that I'm in tune with my own beliefs, right? And not feel, I don't know, ashamed or that I have to hold back in any way.
Yeah.
So being able to express myself in a way that I feel authentic. So
speaking of authentic, you guys, I have to show you this. This is totally way off topic, but so we all know I have an undercut. I've also got Asian hair, and the hairline just kept pushing back as it was being shaved.
It got cut a little bit too much one time.
This is a freaking commitment, let me tell you.
She's growing it back.
I'm growing out this like chunk, so I gotta wear my hair this way.
So embarrassing, isn't it? So embarrassing.
I don't get embarrassed. We all know that. It's really hard to embarrass. Like,
it's
really hard for me to get embarrassed.
Yeah.
My God. Like, if my shirt fell off right now, whatever.
Well, maybe that's for later.
But this thing is kind of cute, you know?
Okay, let's stay on target here.
Anyway.
I got to keep her in line sometimes. So,
hi, Basha. Hi, Tiff. Okay. All right. So today, what we want to bring to you is ways and like top mistakes that people have, top mistakes that people make when it comes to their relationship with money and trying to build wealth. We will also define what wealth is. And then we're going to give you some practical ways to start implementing, to start thinking about, you know, your own situations. And of course, we can tell you, we'd love to share with you how you can dive in deeper if any of this is resonating and you really want to immerse yourself a little bit more to build your wealth. Okay.
And just to give you a bit of background, like neither of us came from a family of wealth. I mean, we talk about our history quite a bit in other Facebook Lives and Roz's podcast. So we had to learn everything on our own, basically. Yeah. So why reinvent the wheel when you can learn from people who have kind of gone there ourselves, right?
That's right. So, and we do talk about our story in our Manifest More Money online workshop, which is, again, we'll talk to you a little bit about that a little bit later. But our story is we earned where we are right now. It takes sacrifice to be where we are. And we will just say it right now because we're not afraid. We are millionaires. Okay, we are millionaires. And we have co-created this. So what does a millionaire look like? I mean, you have clients who are millionaires, right? And it's like we have this idea of what a millionaire is. So, you know, if you're going, whoa, you two are millionaires, but you're still down to earth, right? I hope that's your experience of us.
and you know, some of my clients who've got the most amount of money or the most amount of wealth, they were the most down-to-earth, casually dressed people. Based on appearances, you wouldn't know them from any other guy or gal walking down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, we all have stereotypes about rich people, you know, and a lot of us feel like have this perception that rich people are greedy, right? They're dirty, they're bad. And so
they got this money by stepping on other people, right?
Right. And they got here by, they must have stole this money, or they must have like done something.
Or they inherited $1 gazillion, right?
Yeah. So I want you to just like, if, and there's absolutely no shame around that. If this is a belief, even on a minute level, that's okay. Acknowledge that. Because if that's a belief, there's something there. That very belief is holding you back. That's what's holding you back from allowing yourself to unleash into your wealthy self. Okay? Because on some level, that's still happening. It's still in your energy field. So we're going to bring to you right now, and with Pleasure in the Bedroom Bank, you know, we bring in the neuroscience. We bring in the spirituality. I do anyway. He brings in the
logic.
Yeah. Right. And all the financial planning strategies with money. Right.
The more tangible strategies. Yeah.
And I always like to ground things in practical action steps from a psychological perspective. What can you actually do? Right. It's like, well, gee, yeah, how do I even get to that frequency of wealth? How do I even get into the energy of it? It must be nice for other people, but I don't know how. Right. And energy are emotions in motion. That's all it is. Where do emotions come from? They come from our beliefs. Where do our beliefs come from? Because here's the thing, everything is neutral until you put meaning to it. And so how do we do that? Based on our belief system. Most of us, all of us, formed our core beliefs before the age of 8 because we are born into our families and we're raised the way we're raised. We witness things. We witness how our parents go into their own relationship with money and how they communicate about it.
Big influence on us.
I
right?
bet most of us did not grow up watching our parents have a healthy relationship with money and watching them communicate about money in healthy, loving, fun ways, right? And this is why Dan and I are so passionate about this topic of having sacred, intimate, honest conversations about money.
Because you can change the whole dynamic on your perception and your approach to wealth and abundance and money.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so I'm just gonna let you take that in. Babe, where's my water? Oh, right here. Okay.
I didn't
so
think it.
all right, so I want you to even think about that. Like, how did you grow up? Because some of those beliefs, lots of us have had parents who have divorced, who have gotten to fights, who have separated over money. Maybe they're even still fighting over money.
Number one reason for divorce, finances, right?
This is why we're so passionate, because this is totally freaking preventable, right? In any conflicts or conversation, it's like managing what's my stuff, what's your stuff, and how do we not let it collide? How do we communicate? Ooh, here's my stuff coming up, here's my stuff coming up, and I can see why we are having conflicts. Right? When we have awareness, because we can't change anything if we're not aware. And sometimes those are blind spots. So let's get into what are 3 mistakes that people do when it comes to the relationship with money.
I need my sheet of paper.
Yeah, right. We wrote notes so that we can stay on track.
But the biggest thing for me, the biggest mistake from the overall perspective is people don't talk about it, right? They feel either ashamed or they have a history where money was, you just don't talk about money. You don't talk about what's going on in your world. Some people I meet with as a financial planner, they don't even know how much money they make, right? Because there's so much secrecy or whatever you have around it that they choose to be ignorant.
Yeah.
Not only of how much income they have, but also every other aspect of their finances. So from their assets, their debts, how much tax they owe, what their mortgage balance is, whatever the case is. So having the knowledge about your situation is going to empower you. So that's one of the biggest mistakes. And in terms of a more practical aspect of that, cash flow, right? Cash flow is king. You can't do anything if you don't have the ability to do anything, right? So what I mean by that is if you're spending all your money on debts and this side is the volume over here.
I just want people to see the comments. That's why.
Okay. Yeah. So make sure that you you have enough cash flow and that it's used most effectively. Some people spend tons of money on paying down a debt that's not really going to get them any further, right? That's not going to help them. One of the biggest things is have a plan, right? Some people go through life.
Is this a mistake that people don't have a plan? Let's start with mistakes.
Big time. Yeah, this is big mistake number 2. So 1 is not knowing. Number 2 is not having a plan. Even if you do know your situation.
Can we back that up actually with the not knowing? One of the things that we notice is when we ask couples or people just in general, look at what your values are. What do you value in your life? What's a priority in your life, right? What's important to you in your now and in your future? And then when your credit card statement comes, look at where you are putting your money. Yeah. And the surprising thing is most people are not spending money in what they say is their priority.
So some people who come to me with a blank slate, they don't have any idea. What I tell them is for an entire month, first of all, create a budget of where you think you're spending your money. And then for an entire month, try to keep every receipt, everything that you spend, even if you spend cash at Starbucks or whatever the case is, write it down somewhere so you know. And then kind of compare where you actually spent money to where you thought you were spending money. And it's often quite surprising. And usually the amount of money you spend is quite a bit higher than what you think you spend.
Right. So, and it's really important. Like one of my mistakes was not looking at my credit card statements, maybe about like the beginning, I will say like, geez, 5 years ago, like 4.5 years ago, when I was just starting my coaching business. And we kind of like look at it here and there, but like I really wasn't super detailed in looking at it. And then also one day Dan was like, so we have separate credit cards, but it's a joint account. And he's like, hey, what's this charge here? And it was a business charge. At the time, I did not have a separate business credit card. So I do now to keep it totally separate. But I was like, oh yeah, that's some expense around like a business tool that I need, right? And what I realized though was eventually, like I think I let that pass for a while. And then when I went to go cancel that account, I realized that I was paying for two accounts of the same thing. And we're not talking small money here, you guys. It was a freaking like $1,000 a month US sort of thing. And I was like, holy shit. So I had been paying an extra, I think, this extra account under my name for like 3 months. And that, I tell you, my lessons come very expensively, whether they are financially expensive or emotionally expensive. That was a big freaking wake up call. Like, holy shit. Like that, I think that was like 3,000 US of a very expensive mistake. So, I talked to the people. I think what happened was one of my assistants like accidentally started this account. And I wasn't aware of it. And they don't think they were aware of it. And because totally taking accountability, I did not, because it's my responsibility, I did not look at my credit card statements and really look at the double charge. That cost me 3,000 US. Holy shit. So when I phoned the company, I didn't get a refund. I think I explained the situation. You can even clearly see I never used the account. I did not get a refund. They were like, well, you're shit out of luck. I'm like, oh, okay, well,
and the
right.
good thing is we caught this 3 months into it, not 3 years into it,
right,
or whatever the case.
But from then on, I have never not looked at my credit card statements.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at your credit card statements and make sure that you're not having some extra charges that you could be saving yourself from, right? My goodness. Ever since then, that was a big wake-up call, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for that. I don't feel resentful. I'm like, wow, okay, that's a huge lesson in awareness and paying attention to what's on where I'm putting my money. Okay, where's it going?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to mistake number 2. So that was mistake number 1, is like just not knowing, right? Being ignorant and avoiding.
Exactly.
And then if you're avoiding, why are you avoiding? There's some emotions around that, right?
Yeah.
So no shame in all of this. It's awareness. It's looking at yourself from an observer perspective. All right, mistake number 2
is people don't have a plan, right? People say, "Oh, I want to be retired when I'm, I don't know, some point in the future," and then I ask them intangible numbers. What does that mean for you? How much income do you need to retire? Or when do you want to have your mortgage paid off? How much do you want to help your kids get through university? All the way, half, just a helping hand, or whatever the case is. And some people don't have any idea what this means, right? So engage with someone. We typically recommend a financial planner, a certified financial planner, CFP, not just someone that calls himself a financial planner but doesn't have any credentials, because there's lots of those people out there. Engage with a certified financial planner and get a plan. Not only will this professional educate you on the right tools that you have at your disposal, because there's the internet and Google is a wonderful thing, but it can also be an overwhelming place to get information from. And it's like drinking from the fire hose. Sometimes you can be like, holy smokes, what just happened here? I can't handle this, and I'm just going to freeze, right? I can't do anything about it because there's too much information. So engage with a professional that does this for a living and that can filter out the noise from what's actually important to you in your specific situation. Okay.
Mistake number 3.
So mistake number 3, your parents' financial advice no longer applies, right? My parents were, I remember in the 80s, I was a young kid, and my parents would line up at the bank and buy a Canada savings bond and put their money into some investments that they had no idea what they were. And then they would also pay down their mortgage, right? And they thought that was the best financial plan. Well, Canada savings bonds no longer exist because they suck, right? Paying down your mortgage, good idea in principle, but it's not the most effective use of your money. Why? Because back in the 80s, interest rates were at 18%. Now they're at 1%, 2%, somewhere around there, right? Depending on your situation. So if you're looking for the most effective use of your money, and people used to call me Efficient Dan because I'm very efficient with what I do.
He is, you guys, he is.
I got into the right field of work, and that worked out well. So I look for the most efficient and effective use of your money. Paying down your mortgage is not an effective and efficient use of your money.
Repeat that.
Paying down your mortgage is not an effective or efficient use of your money.
Is that an aha moment for anybody? If it is, put a that emoji where your mind is like blown.
So that being said, if your goal is to be debt-free, ASA freaking P, there are better ways to do it. And that's where you would want to consult with a certified financial planner to discover what these methods are, right? So there you go.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so those are mistakes. Is there anything else we want to say about mistakes?
Maybe a bonus one. It kind of relates to knowing and embracing it. Don't fear money, right?
Yes, respect it.
Respect it, yeah. And it's like we already mentioned, it's an incredible tool. Money is energy, and
says a financial planner.
You
heard it from
as the logical left-brain financial planner, you still have to embrace the human element into things and realize that money has a lot of psychology around it. My parents were psychologists. Roz was a psychologist for many years, so naturally I went into financial planning. But there's still a lot of psychology.
So much.
People hold money near and dear to their heart, so of course there's psychology involved in money, right? Because we spend a third of our life making money, right?
Right, and some of the behaviors we see, and like I just shared, my big oops, right? I woke up, is, and again, remember that there's no shame around this, because the shame is what keeps you in, we'll say, these self-sabotaging behaviors around money. So what that could look like is that maybe you are receiving more money. Maybe you've received a large lump sum of money, and you're like, oh, like unconsciously, you could be impulsively spending so that it's because it's so uncomfortable to have this much money. You're like giving it all away, but not from a place of consciousness. Okay, from a place of like, well, let me just spend, and it could look like frivolous spending.
If you guys want to read about an incredible story, look up the hockey player
I knew you were gonna say
Evander Kane.
Yeah, how do you spell that?
Kane. So EVANDER, Evander Kane, Kane. Wow. A guy who's on top of the world, really good hockey player, making millions of dollars. He's bankrupt. How? He's bankrupt. Look it up.
Right? It's all money mindset. I mean, there's other celebrities who also have made millions and then have gone bankrupt because they are not holding the space to be available to be at this capacity to receive the money and keep the money and grow the money, right? And so their limiting beliefs around money, I don't deserve this, that's really what it comes down to, is you don't feel like you deserve to be wealthy. You don't deserve to have this money. That's what these beliefs are. Or money is dirty. Money is evil. I'm going to be a bad person if I have all this money. Right? And the truth is, the more money you have, the more good you can do with it. Right? The more money you have, the more good you can do with it. Breathe that in. Right? You can multiply. And so we need to shift those beliefs. So those self-sabotaging behaviors can look like giving away impulsively and spending impulsively. It could look like hoarding, right? It could look like doing nothing. You're freezing. You're not even looking at your bank account statements. Like, how many people do that? Like, it just comes in the mail.
Ignorance is not bliss.
You just never look at it. You never open it. It's very unconscious behavior around money that's going to hurt you financially and hurt you from being able to build intergenerational wealth, which Dan can define what that is.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that term. It's a very powerful term. Intergenerational wealth is making sure that your your generations, your kids, your grandkids, or whatever, maximize what they get from your efforts, right? You know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, when I pass away, or even before then, I want to give some money to my kids, whatever. But of course, the government's going to take most of it, and the government will take their fair share. But if you want to give the most down to your future generations, that's there's incredible tools out there to help you achieve that. And your whole family from this point forward can be elevated in terms of their not only the actual financial position they're in, but also their understanding of how to build wealth in the long term.
And the beautiful thing is, you know, as parents, our boys are, as we're recording this, 9 and 7 years old. We have been very conscious about, and on purpose, of course, about how we speak about money, and that we actually speak about money in front of our kids and with our kids. We teach them about money so that they can see that we can have a safe relationship with money. How many of us grew up with that? Most of us can say, not me, right? Absolutely not me. And so we want to wire their brain, because they were at that perfect age of taking in beliefs that serve and support. We want to wire the brain to know that it's safe to have money, and lots of money.
And over here, I'm looking at the comments here, and Donalyn, you mentioned that you have a financial planner now that she works with to grow her family's wealth.
Yes,
I love this topic now. So there we go. Embracing the possibilities and working with a professional is powerful.
1000%.
Right? So there's a perfect comment. Thank you for that comment.
And actually, just to kind of side topic, but very important, is if you do have a financial planner, check in to see what's your relationship like with your financial planner. Are they checking in on you? Because you and I were jamming about that. Like, some people have gone up to and said, my financial planner hasn't contacted me in over like a year or 2 years. What? Right? And so I know, like, you got into financial planning because you want to build impacts in relationships.
The human element,
yeah. Right? I mean, money is important. And it's really important to have a financial planner that you feel, first of all, safe to discuss your money with, but also feel like you have a relationship so that they are keeping you up to date about what's happening with your money, right? So don't avoid,
especially during the last year and a half, where all this craziness in the world, right? More important than ever.
Yeah. So anyway, just going back to how important it is to, first of all, have that peaceful relationship with money, where, you know, Dan and I go deeper in our Manifest More Money bundle offering, but we really help you look at and unpack these beliefs on a deeper level, because you can put all the strategies in place, and I say this as a business coach too, but if you don't feel safe enough to face what you need to face and put yourself out there, and in this case to really look at your relationship with money, it's going to be a continual self-sabotage on some level. Okay, whether that's like not being able to bring in more money, or you do, but you can't keep the money, you can't grow the money. So it's really important to do the inner work as well. Okay, so let's start talking about what to do instead. I think we've been kind of planting seeds anyways, but right. So if you aren't, you just are noticing you're avoiding, you know, you've got those self-sabotaging behaviors with money. You're not where you want to be financially. Okay. So then look at that. What are some of those beliefs?
Or if you don't know where you are financially, and it's this big thing that I don't even know where to start, right?
What are your goals in life? Don't even worry about money. What's your goals that you have in your big vision? Where do you see yourself a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? How do you want to feel when you're retired? I am sure you do not want to be 65, 75, whatever, right? And still working the same way that you are now, or for most of us.
Do you want to be one of those people at Walmart waving to you as you enter the store? I mean, there's a very kind,
nothing wrong
nice
with those people, by the way.
I love that. But I don't know if those people would rather do that than
vacationing,
right,
or
vacationing.
having that time freedom.
Yeah.
Right. And I know some people who may actually choose that, and they may just be choosing that because they want to do something with their.
And they love the human interaction.
Yeah,
and that's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
But if you don't want that.
You want options is basically what we're saying,
Yeah.
right? You want options. And you don't want to have to keep working if you don't want to. You want to have that financial freedom to choose.
I think, something that's very important for a lot of clients that I work with, and especially the younger you get, I tend to hear this a bit more, is that people want to phase out of their career job and into a part-time passion,
yes.
right? So they're always doing something to keep active because they feel energy, like 60 is the new 50 or whatever, however it goes. People are living longer, they have more energy, but they want to keep active mentally, physically, everything. So they want to do something that they're passionate about. Health is wealth. I love that expression, right?
Okay, so vision. Write down your goals. That's really important. All right. So then the second one is, if you don't have a plan, have a plan. So you now know where you want to go in your big vision. Okay. So have a plan. How are you going to manifest that vision? Because here's the thing, money is energy. It's a tool, right? Like it's a piece of paper or numbers in the bank account. They don't really mean anything unless you do something with it, and you need to know where to home it. You need to know how your money can work smarter rather than you work harder. And what are you going to do with that money as it grows? You can give it to your favorite charities. We love doing that. You can put it in your travel account so that when you want to go travel, you have money there. All right. I literally have money. I literally have a sub account in my business account called Taxgasms. All right. We all don't love taxes, so I'm going to make it fun and call it Taxgasms.
But I think everyone likes gasms.
Right? So, I mean, really, I'm grateful that I can pay taxes because it also, on some level, gives back, right? So it's like, it just is being in the larger way to contribute in different ways. And we don't want to be here at tax season being like, oh shit, I don't have any money, right? So you allot where your money's going to go throughout the year in a really structured way. So have a plan of how you're going to build your wealth, we'll say, and where you're going to put, how you're going to do that. Have strategy. This is where this guy can come in.
Efficient strategies.
That's right. Did you want to say anything else about plan, babe?
That we covered quite a bit of it.
Oh, okay. And we do actually, because there's a little side note here. So in our Manifest More Money bundle, which is a course, okay, Dan actually has a worksheet for you that you can fill out. Do you want to explain that a little bit?
Sure. So I have a cash flow and budget sheet because some people have never put together their budget, or they haven't done it in a long time. So once again, going back to what I said earlier, put down the numbers of where you think you spent your money, and then actually tabulate it out, and a month later see where you actually did spend your money. And one little hint, always leave a bit more room in the miscellaneous category because stuff comes up. I just got a flat tire. It turns out for whatever reason I had to get all 4 tires replaced. So one flat tire cost me $1,500. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that was going to happen. That's a miscellaneous expense, right?
Right.
So
yes.
Life happens.
You don't want to dip into your savings if you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really important to have that extra account.
So in our program, I can send you out this budget worksheet so you can categorize everything and organize everything and have an appreciation for it and have knowledge and be empowered by that knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this Manifest More Money course, it's a digital course. You might have seen me promoting it on my birthday. This is what we're talking about. It's so normally every year, I love to make a special offer of one of my programs. So this year it's our program, Manifest More Money, at the age I turned. So I just turned 40, loud and proud, and it's sexy AF. So that's what Dan's talking about. So if you purchase this program, it's regular $88 a bundle. We are selling it for $40. The other part of the bundle is I've included my sacred money, manifest more money, and sacred sales meditations. Okay, so
And we're giving 10% to charity as well too. Every child matters.
Yes,
a very important.
Absolutely. So it's a win-win-win. We're all about win-win-wins. Okay. So we love, and that's something that's really important to me. 10% of all my business profits go to different charities that I love, and I want to be able to contribute back. Right. The more money I have, the more good I can do with it. So we are literally practicing what we preach. So with your purchase, thank you so much. You get to grow, and we also get to all contribute back. Okay. So we can more on that later. All right, so let's go to next step. I think we have one more.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So understanding your own and your partner's money history. So I kind of alluded to that a bit in the past about how we all have a different history when it comes to money. I mean, my mom had this mentality of she grew up in a Depression era house. So they didn't have much money. They scrimped and saved for everything. So she carried that mentality with her.
Yeah.
My dad, a former priest, never had to deal with money. My mom was a former nun too. That's a different story. My dad, with a former priest, never had to deal with money. So he was ignorant to how money worked. So do you think money was a big fun topic to talk about in my household? Not at all. So my parents retired. They moved out to Vancouver Island. They left me here. They moved away from me. And then I had to fend for myself. So I embraced money. And Roz, on the other hand, I mean,
I'm not one of I didn't come from a rich Asian family. Okay, yeah. So like that movie, Rich Asians, that doesn't apply to me.
A daughter to immigrants who came to Canada with barely anything to their name, right?
Yeah. So, and my dad is an accountant. And my mom grew up in very poor, on a farm family. So many siblings, like 8. So, feast and famine sort of mentality. So again, we go deeper into our story on our money course and we also walk you through some things to consider to look at your own story and how that's impacted and continues to impact you in your relationship with money. And then if you are in a committed partnership, we are here to support you to have the tools to learn how to communicate with your partner about money, and how you do one part of your life is how you do all parts of life, right? So if you're feeling sexy and on fire in your relationship with money, I bet it's gonna go all the way around in different parts of your relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's that, that communication aspect. You've heard it before. We're gonna say it again because it's so vitally important. Understand each other's, I guess, reasoning for their approach to a situation by asking them, questions.
Ask, don't assume.
Yeah, don't make any assumptions, right? Easier said than done, but just take the time and have that open, honest, non-judgmental communication. It's going to save you a ton of headache.
Yes. And actually, this is called, we set something up called a money date. We dive in deeper into what this looks like, how you can set it up in our Manifest More Money bundle. But it is essentially consciously, on purpose, choosing a time with your partner to discuss money. And we know that's not easy for a lot of us. A lot of tension, a lot of avoidance can happen.
We've had our fair share of elevated discussions regarding money.
Not elevated, probably like, maybe that's not the right word, but what's the word?
Yeah,
just heated,
like elevated tension is what I meant. Because I didn't understand the approach she was coming from. She didn't understand my hesitation. And then once you break it down, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. I get your perception on this, right? So.
And what we share with you are ways in how you can actually, if you get into that gridlock or if you start to move into that heated place, how do you shift out of that and bring yourselves back to a grounded place where you can now like sort of press that reset button, right? And have a discussion about money.
Yeah, so the money dates are important.
Yeah. So we hope that we're sparking some new ideas for you, some new possibilities, inspiration in how you can go into relationship with money and as well how you can have conversations about money with your spouse if you are in a committed partnership. The other really cool part about our Manifest More Money course is that we have two amazing speakers and experts here. Janet Key, she may be here right now as she's watching live. She was one of my soulmate clients, and she is the founder of Prosperous Women Coaching. So the thing that I really, really love about Janet's work is that she brings in the sacred money archetypes. Yes, sacred money archetypes. And this is about understanding what is your money archetype and how that affects your money behaviors based on your archetype. And then she has, we'll say, solutions to help you really optimize on an energetic level of how to build your wealth and your abundance by leveraging on who you are with your archetype. Pretty freaking amazing, you guys. Her presentation is powerful.
The efficient Dan in me loves that word optimize.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Big time. Gets me excited. There's a gasm for me right there. Optimize gasm or whatever.
And then we have Jennifer Prediger, who is also a financial advisor, and she goes over the 6 pillars of wealth with you. So she brings in more of the practical, like Dan. So we are so proud of this course. We're like, everybody needs to take this course. You can clearly see we're not dry and boring, right? And so this is the vibe you get in our course.
We make it fun.
Yeah, we make it fun. The course is about 3 hours long. It's self-study. You're welcome to keep listening to it. I encourage you, if you're in a committed relationship, watch it with your spouse because it's so powerful. One of the ways that we, or I should say, one of the things that we really, really love to encourage other committed people in committed relationships to do is do personal development together, take courses together, because
grow together.
Together. You get to have new ways in experiencing each other and having deeper discussions. It makes me so sad when I hear people don't talk with their spouse, when they don't feel safe to talk with their spouse. And
in my Facebook post today about our 15th wedding anniversary, I said that one of the best things that I gathered out of this is the growth together, which helped me grow as an individual as well, which helped our family grow my connections with friends. But the key element is growing together in partnership.
Yeah,
right? And it can help out every other aspect. I love it.
And one of my favorite things about Dan that I shared in my post today is how much, honey, you just, over the years, I have seen you expand your capacity to hold space, not just for myself and to have those tough conversations, like when Lil Roz, my inner child, was coming out, and she starts to take over the conversation. In the past, when Dan wasn't as self-aware and I wasn't as self-aware, boy, would our little Roz and little Dan take over. Holy moly, those patterns of pursuer and distancer. I'm a pursuer. And I would say, do we fight? Sure. And our fights don't last that long. They're not super intense like they were before because we have grown. We have learned how to understood each of our own shit so that it doesn't get in the way, and we've had the tools to shift it. It's like we're teaching you guys these things from not only our expertise and our educational backgrounds, but also from our own experiences. We are freaking human. Yes, we fight, and we do practice what we preach. We can shift those fights very quickly. And so it's really, we say, like, we've created this program so that we know we can help save relationships with having a new way to be in relationship with each other, be in relationship with money. We're all about be, do, have, right? When you set the intentions of how you want to be, the mechanics don't matter as much. So you got to set the intentions first. And then as you are in that energy of, I want to be more conscious in my relationship with money. I want to be more respectful in my relationship with money. As a couple, we want to be wealthy. Okay, awesome. Now you're going to start to think differently, or you're going to start being more open to receiving information around possibilities and ideas of how to be more wealthy. And then you'll take action. So that's doing, right? Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you are setting that intention and you're aligning it with your with actions, whoa, watch out. Then all of a sudden you're having what you set the intention to be. Okay? It is by no accident that we are prosperous and wealthy. It is by no accident that we are millionaires. We did not win a lottery. All right? Everything is set with
I did
intention.
15 years ago. I won the lottery.
Oh, my love. Okay, no, we're so cheesy. Brownie points right here. We'll do all the R-rated stuff later. So anyway, but it's by no accident, right? Your life is by design. You get to choose how you want to show up in your life. You get to choose how you want to show up with money. And you get to choose how you show up in your relationship. Breathe that in. Right? Money, and Janet Key, she talks about this. Money is a mirror for us. Money is a mirror for us. And how we look at money, how we go into relationship with money is so much, like, and you guys hear me say that, the triggers are where the medicine is. If something's triggering you, if you're in self-sabotaging behaviors, you're being triggered because everything's neutral. Money isn't neutral to you. You need to look at that. We don't need to. You can choose to, right? But if you want to be, if you're not where you want to be right now in your relationship with money, then look at that. You know, there's always new possibilities. I love where I am in my relationship with money. And it's okay to say, I'm happy to expand that. I'm happy because I know there's another level. Doesn't mean I'm not happy now, but I know there's another next level. It's now in a playful state. It's a playful state. And it doesn't mean I have to wait until doesn't mean you have to wait till you're super rich to be in a playful state with money. It starts within here. Richness is an inside out job. It starts with feeling safe with money. And in my money mindset bundle, we have a meditation that I created around feeling safe and embodying the safety energy around money. So you're in this frequency of feeling safe with money. Okay, and I'm so excited because I just refreshed these meditations by collaborating with Marcus Fung, who is not my brother, but he's a funkster, and he looks like he looks like my brother, which is really interesting.
And he commented on
here.
He's
here.
He's
Hi,
here.
Marcus.
He said thanks you two was enjoying this talk while working this morning. So thanks, Marcus.
I love it. You guys just Marcus is such a beautiful human being. I want to give him a shout out. Him and I have known each other. I think we've actually just met on Facebook, and we're like, and often people ask if we're related because of our last name, and I'm like, no. And so when I finally saw him, I'm like, whoa, weird. You actually look like my brother Mer Fung. Like, you guys look alike. And Marcus is a little bit older than my brother, so he looks like the older version of my brother. And so I'm like, this is so weird, but so cool. Anyways, very talented. The music, I'm so proud of my meditations, and I'm so proud of the collab I did with Marcus. And I know that my meditations really help others embody a new frequency, to believe in themselves, to feel safe around money, to actually call in money. I'm not kidding you. I have had, and you might have heard me speak about this before, but I had done a money activation meditation, and they're infused with light language, by the way, language that only your soul can understand. So that's what's different about my meditations as well. And it's so cool because literally within the 24 hours of people listening to this money activation meditation, they receive large sums of money. And I'm like, even my ego mind's like, what?
How does that happen?
Huh?
It does.
totally did. Like significant amount of people. So I'm just like, this is amazing. All right, guys. So for $40 this month, that's what you'll receive is this course that may change your relationship with money. And we're so excited for you to dive in. Congratulations to those of you who have already purchased this, who have started diving in. I know we've received lots of really amazing feedback from this course.
And when we first ran it, we had so many follow-up questions and so much interest afterwards. It was fun to talk to people one-on-one.
Yeah, and we're on a high for days, I think. Like, just, it's so fun to co-create with you, honey. So, you know, we just love to give, to contribute, to support, to inspire, to catalyze, to motivate you into your next level version of yourself. And pleasure in the bedroom and bank. Love to do that through money. All right, my loves, we will go through the comments. If you have any questions, you know, if you're here, type in replay and write down all your questions. We will be coming back and answering those. And it also allows us to create more content for you, so that, you know, we're always about also creating free content so that you can be educated, be in the energy, be activated. And we love to create things on different levels for people so that, you know, you're receiving on wherever you are at, okay? Whatever feels aligned for you. So thank you so much for tuning in. You are worthy of having a very rich, abundant, and wealthy life and relationship. Bye, loves. Thank you for tuning in, IG. Download video. Share to IG.